So after a little bit of reading, following the instructions, marking my tenons, measuring the tenons, I come into an issue. The tenons are roughly 0.117. That's 117 thousandths of an inch. If you look, standard drill bit, you got 7/64ths, 1/8. 7/64ths is 109 thousandths of an inch, and 1/8 is 125 thousandths of an inch. These are between 117 and 119. Mine both measure out at 117. I don't have a drill bit for that. So the best thing to do, that I'm thinking, is to replace these pins altogether. Or get a number 32, which is a number 32 drill bit, which is approximately 119 thousandths of an inch. That should work. One other avenue that I was thinking about doing was drilling to 764 thousandths of an inch, or 7/64ths, and taking that and doing a little needle file on the actual tenon itself for the barrel and driving it in. But I don't know if I want to take that risk. I may just go over to Ace tomorrow morning, pick up some 1/8 inch pins, file them to size, and go from there.
So one of the many things that I've been told is to measure twice, cut once. I made a measurement right off the center of the tenon. It is literally 1 inch from the top of the barrel to the center of the tenon on on the breech. I'm sorry, on the muzzle and the breech. The biggest pain in the rear is that it is a 117 thousandths of an inch pin. So the problem I found that you have to have a number 32 drill bit to cut this hole. So I want to take my level, go from the top down the center line that I marked on the barrel with a pencil, 1 inch from the very top to the center of the tenon. I want to do this in my drill press to ensure that I get the most precise cut that I can.
With these barrel tenons, the best way to go about these is to get your micrometer out, mark the thinnest side, take this with your hand and sand it in a figure 8 motion. I went a little on a heavier grit, make my life a little bit faster, then real fine to polish it up. Always go figure 8. It'll make it an even sanding. Once you've done that, you're going to come over here. I like brass more than I do wood, personally. Take your brass drift, knock it in slowly, get it as center as humanly possible. Once it's center, do the next tenon, and your tenons are set.
So on this portion of the rifle build, I'm going to do a little bit of shaping. A lot of shaping, actually. We got to take and even up all the woodworking around here and the brass. For me, I could throw it in my vise, sand it off the vise. It's a little bit time consuming. Well, I don't like standing and bending over. So what I did, took the dowel rod, shoved it in the barrel, gave me about 3 to 4 inches. Gave me a perfect place to work, standing up, less bending or whatnot. So when sanding, the biggest thing you need to do, go with the grain. You don't want to go perpendicular, you want to go parallel. So stay with the grain. Bring this whole thing to shape, take a little bit of time. As always, take your time. I'm gonna roll this top half. That way you don't get any flat spots. Come around the side. Again, going with the grain. Consistently going with the grain. You can ruin the wood. I mean, to each his own. I want my rifle to look good. Another way to do this would be get a power sander or a file. File be one way, or a rasp. Get yourself a real nice heavy duty rasp. You're still going to be sanding shortly after you get the rasp going. And that again, you're going to follow the grain. You're going to go with the grain. You want to cut down like so. With those downward moments, you're staying with the grain. You're not going you're not going a crisscross pattern like you do when you polish your brass. Go one way, go the next. You're cutting with that grain, so it's cleaning. It's going to look nice in the long run once you get ready to polish it, stain it. So for shaping purposes, you go with the grain. I'm using an 80 grit sandpaper, so it'll take off quite a bit. Fairly quick like sanding block, so you're not getting uneven sanding. Take your time. Some people wear masks. This is a real fine wood. Don't worry, that's the dowel rod scratching the cement. We ain't gotta worry too much about that.
So I went to Ace, picked up some screws, because I was not happy with these smaller screws. Yes, they're flatheads. They're gunsmith screws. But you'd be amazed at what Ace has. They have 6 or 7 drawers of gunsmith screws for guns. Who'd have thunk it? I sure didn't. These are Allen keys. Get yourself your Allen. Personally, I went and bought the tap as well. The tap and the screws cost me less than $5. Now I have sufficient enough thread. If I cut the hole in the wrong spot a second time, because I'm not going to do it more than twice, to file down the head, file down the threads that are going to poke into the rod holder. Once I've done all that, you cut your hole. You need to make sure it's flat with the landing for your barrel. So what I did here, after I drilled it, made sure it went in smoothly, went right into the ramrod holder. I took a larger bit, a little bit bigger than the head of the screw, and by hand twisted it to cut that recess. Now it's almost perfect level with there. If I cut any further, I'm not going to be happy. Then I'll have that more of a recess than it would be where it's at now, and I don't want to cut too much. And use your hand. You can just sit there and spin it by hand. You got a sharp drill bit, it'll cut it real easily. Stay away from your drill. Use your hand. Just spin it a little bit, take a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. When setting the screw in for the ramrod holder, 2 hands is helpful. I ended up drilling the hole in the wrong spot and had far too much room for, too much stock for the threads to make themselves. So I took my time. Again, that's something I want to repeat time and time and time again. Used a little bit of common sense as a mechanic, and went and bought a tap. With that tap, I took and drilled the hole all the way through. Now, being that this is a metric item, this screw is metric, I did a couple different things. That is the original screw that is meant for this class, for this stock. Ace sells the exact same screw, but for an Allen key. So it's the exact same thread. Hello again. Got everything situated with the rifle and the firing mechanism. Went through the book, got in there, had to adjust it. I was having some misfiring issues where it'd be unsafe to fire this firearm. So still working on it to ensure it's unloaded. No powders around me. For this specific area, I'm still got a little bit of work left to do. What you're going to do to ensure that your firing mechanism works, you're going to set your second trigger, go to half cock, position number 1. You're going to pull your front trigger, your firing trigger, push forward on your hammer, apply some pressure, hit it again. You ensure it does not fire. You've safely checked to ensure that it does not fire in this first position. Go to the second position. I'm going to push a little bit here, and it fires. Pull the first trigger. So again, you're going to set it, pull up the half cock, pull your first trigger, push, pull it all the way to full cock, squeeze, and you have fire. That'll tell you that your firearm is safely working. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.